Hello, welcome to the Backyard SmokeMaster channel. I'm Kenyatta Robinson. Today I'm going to do a video on the meter, which is a wireless thermometer. I've actually had it now for about a month, but I haven't used it yet. So let me give you an idea of what you get when the meter block finally arrives. They sent these coasters, which I have absolutely no idea why they included this. I don't see myself using these coasters. I don't know, I don't get it. Then you've got the meter block itself, and it looks well made, good quality. Okay guys, switching to another camera that will allow me to be hands-free. Hopefully you can still hear me okay. So I downloaded the meter app, and basically you get a welcome screen here. Select your meter product below to continue the setup process. Currently they have 3 choices available. The original meter probe, so they've already replaced the original meter probe with the meter plus probe, which I guess has improved signal strength. And then there's the meter block, which is what I have. So I have the block, which should improve wireless connectivity through Wi-Fi, and it again came with 4 of the original meter probe. So I'm going to go ahead and select the meter block. Okay, then it gives you another screen that talks about the probe anatomy. So the pointy end, let me get one in my hand here, says the internal temperature sensor is basically right in here. There's a safety notch, and it comes with these little tags right at the safety notch, and the tag says, "Attention, always insert into meat past this line to avoid damage." So you pretty much have to insert the probe into the meat fairly deeply, because that's a good couple of inches there. And then on the very bottom here, the black tip here is the ambient temperature sensor. Cook like a pro with the meter guided cook system. The guided cook process, I guess, tells you how many minutes are remaining on your cook. Okay. And the guided cook process will also tell you how much time you need to let your food rest. So the guided cook system seems to be very much set up for people who are pretty new to barbecue, and the app is here to kind of hold your hand through the process. I don't know that I'm interested in that level of assistance. Okay, here's some information. Expected range for the meter block, and it says connection to probe via Bluetooth up to 10 feet, typical wireless range. Okay, so there's actually, it gives you 2. So 10 feet is the typical range for a barbecue or smoker. 33 feet is the typical range for an oven, pan, or gas grill. So today I'm going to be using my Lone Star Grill offset smoker. So that's solid steel, baby. So yeah, you would think the range for Bluetooth would be 10 feet or less. And then it says connection to block via Wi-Fi. Typical range 105 feet. So I guess the idea here is to keep your block within 10 feet of the smoker, and then it should give me coverage up to 105 feet to the meter app. Meter probes connect wirelessly to the block via Bluetooth. Meter cloud. Oh my goodness. Sign in to Meter Cloud. Enter your email address to register for Meter Cloud. Enhance customer support. Unlock the full capabilities of Meter. Extend the range. So it sounds like in order to have this connectivity through the block, it goes through the cloud, which I have to sign up for. Okay guys, I think I got everything set up now, so it looks like I'm connected. I'm on the Meter Cloud. So it's showing my 4 probes, no cook setup yet, showing some temperatures here inside of the house. Now it's going to be pretty rainy today, so I'm not going to be able to keep my meter block outside. I'm going to move it inside, and hopefully it'll be close enough to give me, the good wireless range. We'll see how that goes. So again, we're advised that the probe needs to be in pretty deep. Okay, so hopefully that's deep enough. So clearly these aren't good for, these are best for thick pieces of meat. Gotta go in at an angle to get it in deeply enough. So that's a little bit of a challenge. Hopefully that will work. So it says tap to set up cook. And it gives you some options here. You can either do a guided cook or a custom cook. I'm probably gonna do custom, but I just wanted to take a look at what the guided looks like. So if I did beef, then it gives you some choices here like ribeye, brisket, steak, chuck, sirloin, T-bone, tenderloin, roast, shank, ground. So it gives you a lot of options. And then if I pick brisket, it gives you some guidelines or some recommendations for what internal temperature to go with. For instance, rare 125, medium 145, well done 165, smoke 203. Tells you what the USDA recommended temperature is in order for it to be considered safe, which is 145. So actually, that is pretty slick. I'll give them credit for that. So far so good, everything seems to be working pretty smooth. I think the app is pretty smart and pretty slick, so I'm happy to see that considering how long it took this company to release this stuff. So it's good that they did put some thought and some technology into this. All right, guys, I just wanted to give a quick update. So I've had the brisket going now for a couple of hours, and one observation that I have about the meter is that it's been consistently giving me meter probe device disconnected warnings. Let's see if I can show that. So anyway, so here's like a couple of the warnings that I've been getting on my iPhone and my Apple Watch. And then every time I would go check the app, it would still appear to be connected. Another observation, when I first set up my probe To cook the brisket point, I put in 200 degrees as my target temperature. And actually, my target temp should be like 205, somewhere between 205 to 210. And I noticed that the meter app would only allow me to go up to 203 degrees. So that appears to be a limitation. And actually, as I take another look at this, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it looks like probe 1 is a little more like it's kind of faded out as opposed to the other probes. I don't know if that means that it's considered to be disconnected. I'm not really sure. Yeah, so I click on it, probe 1, and it says connection lost. Move this device closer to the probe to reconnect. And that's a little disappointing. Okay, now just as I say that, I get this warning notification within the app saying meter probe 2 connection problems. However, when I click on the second meter probe 2, it still looks like it's connected. It says 168 degrees. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. A lot of weird notifications popping up that ultimately, if I was cooking something that I expected to cook faster, I would probably be having a lot of anxiety over this. I mean, I expect this brisket to take a good while to cook, so I'm not overly concerned. But these are just observations of what appear to be issues that still need to be worked out. So actually, let me go grab the block and move it closer and see what that does. Now it looks like the first 2 probes, they appear to be connected. It's also giving me some different ambient temperatures. Probe 2, which is the flat, ambient temp is reading at 291, while the point, the ambient temp is reading at 254. Now that's a pretty big swing, and those 2 pieces of meat, I have them both on the upper rack, which is the hotter rack inside of the LSG, and they're side by side, so I would expect the temperatures to be different, but I wouldn't expect them to be that different. Now if I go to my fireboard and I have the probe sitting on the upper rack in the middle, I don't know if you guys can see that, but the fireboard is reading at 255, which is more in line with what I'm expecting, while the meter says that the ambient temperature for the flat is 290 degrees. So let's take a look. Okay, so there's the probe, and it is in front of the brisket. And there you see so that's the fireboard probe right there in front. And then you've got the meter probe stuck into the brisket. And I think it's the tip that's outside of the meat that's measuring the ambient temperature. So it's like it's giving me a 40-degree difference from what the fireboard was giving me. So now it says meter says ambient temperature is 260. fireboard says 210, 213. It's rising since I closed the chamber back up. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Okay guys, so I just wanted to give a few final thoughts with my maiden adventure using the meter block. So overall, you know, after waiting 3 years, lots of promises about development and things like that, you know, I had big expectations, but then, you know, they were kind of tempered as one delay was followed by another with another excuse and another excuse. Overall, you know, it's a mixed bag. I think the app is very nice, especially for people who are new to barbecue and who aren't very familiar with, you know, what temperatures you should be cooking your meat to. I think it's very helpful in that regard, very slick, very easy to follow, easy to navigate, very colorful as well. The big question is, what is the connectivity like? I mean, this is a wireless, these are wireless probes. How well do these probes work when they are inside of your smoker, especially a well-built steel smoker like the Lone Star Grill offset? And that's where, you know, there are still some issues where I feel like the meter block, the block especially, has come up short. I mean, the purpose of the block was supposed to enhance, increase, improve your connectivity, but I found that I needed to keep my block outside, you know, within a couple of feet from the smoker. You know, a day like this where it's been raining all day, you know, I don't want to trust, you know, these electronics and having them exposed to the elements like that. So I really wanted to be able to keep my block inside and then maintain a nice strong connection, but that wasn't to be. So connectivity is pretty suspect. So overall, you know, I think that's really the most important thing about it. You know, it's a wireless thermometer, so it needs to have good, strong, solid connectivity. You know, my fireboard, yeah, it has wires, you know, connecting the probes to the fireboard, but it works. You know, there's no fuss, no muss. Plug it in. You know, the app is easy to navigate as well. It's not quite as colorful. You know, doesn't have as many, you know, tips about, you know, how you should be cooking your meat or to what temperature, you know, but ultimately the fireboard does what you really need it to do, and without you having to spend a great amount of time, you know, setting it up and getting it to go. This is where I think the meter, unfortunately, falls short, you know, of expectation. So I have to ask myself, you know, is the meter something that I would use in place of my fireboard setup? And the answer is no, it's not even close. I am willing to give the meter another shot. I do think that there is potential there. It could be very nice. So yeah, I'll give it another try, but it definitely right now is not going to be my go-to thermometer for my barbecue cooks. So what do you guys think? Do you already have the meter, or do you have the meter block? What are your impressions? Are they different from mine? You know, do you prefer it to fireboard or to like the ThermaWorks smoke? Let me know in the comments. So once again, I do appreciate your support for watching my channel, and like I said, feel free to leave comments, questions. I love hearing from you guys. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.